This talk is Questions for the End of the Age. Now, most people that go to these talks or read all the myriad books over the centuries, they're always looking for answers. And what I want you to start looking for tonight is not the answers but the questions. And I'll show you why you should only be looking for the questions, because the answers are often staring you back straight in the eyeballs, or they're known by your spirit, but your mind has blocked it so you won't know it. You're literally in a state of unconsciousness. And when you hear what I'm going to tell you tonight, it won't just inform you like I did in the last 3 talks, talking about the electronic cage and the conspiracy reality. So every time you hear the words conspiracy in the future, I want you to think not theory, but conspiracy reality. Okay? I've spoken tonight as a doctor and a scientist, and now I'm going to be speaking also as a prophet. And like a prophet such as Moses, Isaiah, and Yeshua HaMashiach, I'm going to show you that the ultimate solution is not a technical one, and it's not an information war. It's a spiritual war. Whether we're dealing with a galactic federation or whatever you want to say it is, it's the Russians, it's the Chinese, all of the problems are solved by asking the right questions, not the answers. The answers will become very evident very quickly. And that's what the problem is that we haven't faced that. Do you feel the quickening? And most of the people here, probably people that have logged online or are going to watch this later in a DVD, and if you have friends, get the DVD. Copy the DVD. Get it to as many people as you can, because if they don't understand that the asking the right spiritual questions and stopping the balkanization based on religion or on color or on nation or on anything, on money, is the dialectics that are used to destroy our world. And the masters of our world are very evil. They're indwelt by astral beings. We might call them demon-possessed, as in other cultures and religions call them. But in fact, what they are is they are astral parasites. We call them trans-dimensional demonic beings. And that's where I mentioned earlier, we have to understand that our world is ruled by spiritual powers and principalities that are beyond the mind of man. And in higher cultures and other civilizations, they know this. And why do people sense a massive change in the nature of our world, and why the central theme of the end times? You hear it over and over again, cataclysm. Why? It's because all of our religions, all of our books, all of our histories have known deep within our DNA, within our psyche, we know that cataclysm is the very basis of the nature of our world. It's not an anomaly to have a tsunami or to have a global pole shift or to have an ice age. It's actually the nature. Mankind has 23 genes that do not exist in any other mammal. We have origins that are not from this world. We are a very ancient being. And not only our physical body, but our spirit body, we are eternal. We are literally made in the image of the Most High God, whether we're a little child like my daughter was 14 with Down syndrome, or we're a grandmother, or we're a person that's black or brown or yellow, whatever, anywhere in the world. We also have to not only respect all human life, but all other life forms, because the biophotonic and the scalar energies that they generate literally allows our bodies and our world to exist. So when the great whales are being destroyed as they travel through their whale pathways, which our ships know, they won't change our shipping lanes, which they could move very easily because they are killing all the great whales. These frequencies that they generate actually generate a scalar hologram that allows our world to exist. So literally, the scalar matrix that allows like our body to exist, if you infuse the body with scalar energies from a directed energy weapon, or you shut off the normal scalar frequencies that allow your hologram, which makes your cells what you are and make you literally physically exist, you fall apart. And so our planet is dying. The coral reefs are dying. The oceans are becoming acid. We have 200 dead zones. There are now, the ozone hole over Antarctica is the largest it has been in history. And then they want to blame global warming on us driving the gas-guzzling giants that the oil industry gives us, which is a lie, because we could have 300-mile-an-hour cars, we could have water engines, we could have Tesla engines. In fact, I talked to one gentleman who we'll be talking to later this spring. He's going in production here in California with a Tesla engine that has no moving parts. And I've actually got his patent, so it does exist in the U.S. Patent Office. There's all kinds of machines. If you look at Tom Bearden's work, Zero-point energy is the very nature of the universe. Everything above the fourth dimension is part of the singularity. And the best way to think of it, think of the four lower dimensions as four strings, okay? And the fifth dimension and above to the 12th is part of what's called a singularity. So this point in the fifth dimension here on this table is literally at the same point on the other side of the galaxy. Okay? Do you see what I mean in the fifth dimension? And so you have to understand the sixth, the seventh, the eighth. And what's going on is those strings are literally sounding on like a musical instrument on the body of the scalar instrument of the higher dimensional plane. So when you see things like crop circles, what you're actually seeing is the energy being burst from the ionosphere coming down toward Earth and carrying hyperspace archetypes and actually displaying them like images on the ground. So you're actually seeing a transmission of higher dimensional intention that's being translated into intelligent shapes when they're burned on the ground. Does that make sense? So when you see images that show positions of the planets or images of things that look otherworldly, it's because they're from other worlds. Right? And the big thing of the apocalypse is the unveiling, is that we are not the center of the universe, that mankind is not the only sentient being, that the earth is not, you know, they used to say in Copernican ideas that the sun rotated around the earth. Well, I need to say that God does not rotate around man. There was a statement to be made tonight. Man is literally made in the image of the Most High God, and we are the children of the Most High God, and they've stolen that. And I'm going to reveal to you tonight the reasons why the answer to that question is the only solution that will allow us and a remnant of our populations to be sealed with the seal of the Most High God and to go into the next age. And what does catastrophism have to do with understanding our world geopolitics and climate? Well, quite a bit. Why do most people sense a massive change in the nature of our world? Well, what is the nature of mankind? What is a man? What is a woman? What is a human being? From whatever culture. And if you look and you listen to the shamans and the people of all these different religions, they all think they have the pathway of light. And I'm here to say that religion is always a substitute for relationship with the Most High God. You need to know the pathway. And everyone who has a formula, whether they call it the Buddhist formula or the Christian formula, they've all perverted the message. And the real issue is, and the clearest message ever given was by Yeshua HaMashiach, who said, when I return, you shall be as me, and even greater things you shall do, for when I return, you will be exactly the same as me. The real issue is when we go into the bathroom in the morning, we are looking at the Messiah. But we need to realize the reason why evil grows, whether it's geopolitical or medical or legal evil, it's because we have separated responsibility and authority. We have the responsibility to take back this world. And we have the authority. We've given it to fools like George Bush and his junta. We've given it to above-government transnational corporations. We've given it to organizations who have made treaties with entities who have given us technologies from other worlds. They have traded in human flesh. They have done cosmic evil on a proportion and a magnification that's beyond the range of the most evil imagination. And it is real. It is not a deluded fabrication of my mind or any other mind. It's a fact. So the understanding the nature of what we are and the nature of consciousness is central to solving all the problems. So the real issue is the ones who should lead are the ones who should be the philosophers. Not the military leaders, not the politicians, and not even the billionaires. It should be the ones whose spirits are tuned to be the gardeners of the garden. The gardeners of the garden must be the only ones who lead, because they who do not garden kill and eat. So what the nature of consciousness is really key to understanding the right questions, and it's not the answers we should be seeking, but the correct questions. The reason is the answers are always known, and I'll show you why. Why is the central theme of the end times in all religions through history? Does it appear that all the leaders of all the international banks and corporations and national governments and all the higher education are keepers of this hidden knowledge? Why is that? In fact, believe it or not, only 4% of all knowledge in all the universities is actually public. 96% has been hidden away in vast libraries like the libraries of Ashurbanipal, The Vatican Library is the largest library in